Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You know what time it is. It is time to get this truck back together. I want to get all the body panels on. I want to get the doors on. I want to get the bed on, fenders, grill, all that stuff. I want this thing to look like a truck again. So there is a few things we need to do before we go through and start bolting on body panels. Like I previously mentioned a while back, I want to kind of do a semi-wire tuck, I guess you would say. There's a wire harness that ran on each side inside the bay from like the cab up to the front of the truck. I want to reroute those harnesses inside of the fender, like underneath the fender. So we're gonna have to drill some big holes to fit these harnesses through the cab on the side, and hopefully we don't have to lengthen too many wires. So we got to tackle that. And then the door hinges are completely junk. The bushings are shot in them, so I bought a set of bushings and pins. I think they're like off of a Chevy truck, I think. I'll look it up. I'll let you guys know when we get to that point. But we got to rebuild those hinges, and hopefully those bushings I bought are gonna work. First things first, let's get to work with a wire harness, get that all set in place and routed where I want it, tucked away so you'll never see it, and then we can work on these door hinges. So like I said, there's a harness here, and there's that harness there that originally ran. You can see I actually found plugs for those, but they ran right here and they ran right here. So what I'm planning on doing is chopping a hole probably right in here, run the harness right through there. I'll have to make this hole a little bit bigger, I'm sure, to fit the harness through there, but that's gonna hide the harness out of most of the bay. Some of the electronics, like there's a headlight relay on that side. I still got to figure out what to do with the coil igniter, that system. I may mount under here, I'm not really sure yet. Kind of want it accessible, so I may mount it kind of tucked up underneath this little lip here, just to kind of keep it somewhat hidden. I think it would really suck if you had issues with the coil and you had it on the side of the road with a lower truck. You're not going to be able to get the inner fender out and get to work on that at all. Plus there's going to be a lot more water in there, I suppose, so I may have to, like I said, mount the coil here and igniter here, and then just cut a hole in here for the wiring to go through. But either way, let's get these harnesses run where we want them, get them tied up and out of the way. All right guys, I got these wiring harnesses kind of routed now. I'm gonna stop here. A lot of this I don't need. This is all the igniter wiring. I think that went to the coil. This is alternator, which I will need, but I gotta figure out, once I get the motor in and get everything situated, I'm sure I'll have to lengthen these. So I'll probably just run those down kind of behind the washer reservoir here, down up to the alternator. So those are definitely gonna need to be lengthened. This side, I did have to lengthen these headlight wires, and then this is the main positive battery. It was actually 2 wires, and there is still, I left that fusible link in there right there, so it's all taped up, but I did leave that fusible link in. Now I gotta ask you guys if any of you have a wiring diagram for this truck. All this stuff over here, I know there's a starter wire, I know there's a water temp, I think that's oil pressure. There's a few other wires that I'm not sure where they went. So there's also this one here. This one here was actually the whole tail light harness, so I'm gonna kind of tuck that up, maybe run it right back here to the back of the truck. But if any of you have a wiring diagram, let me know. Would be really nice. There's a couple wires here too, like just these single wires. I'm not sure, that one I don't think was used. This other red one here, like I said, I'm not really sure what they were for, so a diagram would definitely help. Alright guys, next thing on the list, we got to figure out these door hinges. So this one's broken. You can see there's supposed to be a post like that one right there sticking out the top for that kind of to hold the door open, and then that spring right there goes in between there. So I'm gonna see what I can do about fixing that, but first things first, we need to get all these pins drilled out. I think they're pressed in. I'm gonna try to beat them out of there. I don't actually think, actually yeah, that one's probably pressed in too, but either way, what I got, these are actually pins and bushings for I think an F-150. You can see the pins are way too long. Not a big deal, we can always shorten those up. So I don't know if these are going to work. They should. They're a little bit bigger, the bushings are, so we should be able to just drill these out to fit those bushings. So let's dive into this, see if we can get these things apart and back together with new bushings. Alright, so we got these upper hinges ready to go. I am going to sandblast and paint those, so I didn't put the bushings in. I've started working on those lowers, and there's just not enough meat. I did buy, like I said, these are Chevy bushings, which I really wanted to use because they're nice and thick and beefy, but there's just not enough meat on there. This is a 12 mil. If I drill that out to 12 mil, it's going to be super thin on this side. So what I ended up doing is I got these smaller bushings. They're the same inside diameter, but they're, instead of 12 mil, they're about 10 and a half. These are a part number 675-5160. I picked these up at Napa, so these are gonna work a lot better. Yeah, they're a little bit thinner, but I think they'll work just fine. Now, if you guys are gonna do this job on a Toyota pickup, actually, I found on eBay, after I bought these bushings and pins that I have right now, there's actually a seller on eBay that sells bushings that are made for these Toyotas. If you guys wanna check that out, I've never tried them, but they should work a lot better than kind of piecing something together. I'll link those down in the description box if you guys wanna check that out. Probably a lot faster and easier solution than this. Well, there we have it, folks. We got the whole body back together, got the truck back in one piece, and I gotta say, I'm really liking the look of this thing. The back is back might be a little bit lower once we get this all figured out. We are literally sitting on the bed. Front, like I said, needs a motor. It needs some weight, but I still think we're gonna have to do something with the front springs, shorten those up a little bit to drop the front, but kind of got to look at this thing. Now, like I said, I don't think I'm gonna be using these wheels. These were just a good deal I found, so I threw them on there, but the 18s are just, I think they're just too big. I think 17s would look a lot better, and I could do a smaller tire. These tires are huge, so those definitely aren't gonna work. So either way, this is just kind of a mock-up, just kind of get an idea of what we're looking like. So it is pretty sweet. Let's grab this thing, let's throw it back in the shop. I want to throw it on the lift. I want to show you guys the underside, how tight everything is with clearances, with all the arms, the coilovers. I had to do some cutting on the bed just to get the bed to sit down on the frame. So let's get up in the lift. I want to show you that. Alright guys, let's crawl under here and show you some clearances. So you can see the upper shock mount right there is just about touching. There's maybe like an 1/8 inch between the bed and that shock mount. You can see that's where I had to cut it out on both sides right there. So that is very close. And then when you come over here, this upper link, I'm hoping that's not going to be an issue, because we got about, I don't know, 2.5 inches between the top and the bed there, and about the same between my bump stop and my axle. I got about, I think, 4 inches of travel with these shocks or these coilovers. So I don't know, we might have to do some fine tuning there. I'm really hoping I don't have to notch the frame. If I do, then obviously this is gonna hit the bed, so we gotta figure out something with that. I guess I could always stiffen up the coilovers a little bit just so we're not bottoming out as much, but you can see one other spot I had to trim. This other support bar that ran across the bed there, had to trim that for the upper link. So we are very close on clearances kind of everywhere, but I think we'll be happy. I think I'll be happy with it. I think it'll work. Now, like I said, this is jacked up, and I have like a 1/2 inch with no weight at all on the truck. And when I had the truck down on the ground with the weight on it, it was touching the fender. So I'm pretty sure once we get that clearance issue figured out, the truck will drop a little bit more. And obviously springs got to settle, they got to break in. So I don't know, we got some fine tuning to do, but I am happy with it. Thing is looking sweet. Honestly, I kind of like these wheels, but like I said, I think they're just gonna be too big in the end, especially the tires are gonna be way too big. Well guys, that is a wrap for this one. I got done what I wanted to get done, and that is getting this truck back in one piece, body panels on, and I gotta say I am absolutely loving the look of this truck so far. A few fine-tune adjustments on suspension. I think we should be dialed in. Still gotta figure out wheels, like I said, but all in all, this thing is looking so freaking sweet. Well guys, we're gonna wrap this video up right here. Hope you enjoyed it. Go smash that thumbs up button, drop a comment, let me know what you guys think about the truck so far. If you got any ideas on wheels as well. I don't really wanna go 15s. I want to kind of go a little bit bigger, 17s probably. There's not many 16s, so it's kind of either 15s or 17s. Like I said, I think 18s are just a little too big. I think 17s with some shorter tires would look really good on here. So drop a comment, let me know what you think. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.